Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hi, this is Tammy Pantzer. Today's guest is YVONNE HERBST. She helps locally owned companies in the home improvement and health and fitness industries leverage the power of the internet and social media to reach and attract more perfect customers and generate more repeat business, more sales, and more profits. Welcome, YVONNE.
Thank you, Tammy. I'm delighted to be here with you.
I'm really happy to be talking to you today. Tell me a little bit more about who you help.
Well, I primarily help, these days I pretty much focus on helping companies that in the home improvement field and health-related businesses create a web presence that establishes them as a top choice in their field and their local marketplace. And that can range anywhere from setting up their website, setting up their social media presence, creating web content for them, creating video content for them, and just helping them get more visible online so that when people are looking for them, they stand out in the search results.
So can you give me a few examples of how you help them and what are some of the problems or perceived problems that people seem to be having with their marketing today?
Well, a lot of business owners I talk with today have, that they used to advertise in the yellow pages. They might be advertising in local newspapers, local magazines, and they're just really frustrated because they're not seeing a return. They're not able to track that the advertising dollars they're spending in print media these days are generating real leads and real customers. And they also know that they could and should be using the internet and social media somehow, but they're just very confused. There's so many choices, and they just don't have time to sort it out, figure out the technicalities, and that's where I come in. I help them understand their options and select the best options for them, and then oftentimes they might not have any website at all, or they might have put up a website on their own that looks kind of amateurish, and it's time for them to step up their game and create a more professional look and feel in their website.
Do you have an example of someone that you helped to make a better web presence?
Yeah, I do actually. A while back, a few years ago, I gave a talk at just a small little local business workshop. And one of the attendees was a kitchen designer, and she came up to me afterwards. And she said she really knew she needed help. She was really intrigued with what I said about how to, make your website work for you, how to help it get found, how to capture leads. And so, I took a look at her website. And it was one that she'd built herself. I think it might have been on the GoDaddy platform. And it was perfectly fine when she was starting out. But, this was several years into her career as a kitchen designer. She had a beautiful portfolio of work. But when you went to her website, it just didn't showcase it well. And it looked very amateurish. And so, we sat down with her. I spent quite a few hours just interviewing her, getting to know her business. Getting to know what she wanted her website to do for her, and compiling, the photos and organizing them, and ended up, creating a new website for her that may really showcase the beautiful photos and a lot of blog content that explained the different projects she'd worked on, explained what you should look for, the kinds of questions you should be thinking about before you launch a kitchen remodeling project, how to choose a kitchen designer. And all this content really positioned her as an authority in the local marketplace for people who are looking for a custom kitchen design. So like a few months after it launched, I optimized the pictures, I optimized the blog content and got her listed on on Google, got her into other directories, got her listed on Houzz, coached her on how to get reviews, and ultimately people started finding her for these long tail keywords, like if they were looking for a kitchen designer in Reston, Virginia, or Fairfax, Virginia, or Arlington, Virginia. And so they'd find her just by searching, and then they'd get intrigued and impressed by what they saw and what they read. And she said that, within about 6 months, the number of leads she was getting just through online search was equaling the number of leads she was getting through word of mouth recommendations. And so her investment in her new website and the optimization, the blog content, and the customer testimonials and reviews really has paid off for her.
Did she notice that the length of time that it took for her projects to go from start to finish, meaning the relationship with her new customer, did it seem more shortened after she had the new website?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the comments that she made to me, was that it now when she goes out for her initial meeting with customer or potential clients, they already have a good feel for her. It's really it's made it less awkward in that initial encounter, because they feel like they already know her. They've already seen her work. They already have a feel for her style. They've watched her videos. And so they already trust her.
I think that's really important, because in the world today, like what you said, that her online presence actually equaled or exceeded her word of mouth, meaning the real world referrals. And these were getting, basically, the website was acting as a referral partner for her.
Exactly.
So that's really cool. And you also did some work for her husband, who is a professional home builder. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, and just before we move on to that, at one point I forgot to mention was that this kitchen designer now has probably a couple dozen reviews on Houzz, which is the premier social media site for people in the home remodeling industry. And if you look through her reviews, I mean, a lot of these projects are $50,000 to $100,000 projects, and probably a good third or a half of them point out that the people who hired her found her online. So that just illustrates, how it does take upfront work to pull your information together and to present it in a way that it's findable online, but it certainly has more than paid off. As far as her husband goes, now he's a home builder, and it's a very synergistic relationship they have, because she goes in and designs the kitchens. And if the client doesn't already have a construction company in mind, her husband can then come in and execute the project and build out the kitchen. And he was in a similar position. He had a very rudimentary website that, again, just did not showcase his work well at all. And so I built his new website and really featured his the photographs of his building projects in a very attractive way with photo galleries. And when the website was done, I put up his own Facebook page, and then I put up pictures of his work on my own Facebook profile. And just by luck, the night I posted the pictures of some of his projects, it was seen by a friend of mine who was fed up with her own contractor and decided to fire him and was looking for a new contractor. So the photos I put up caught her attention. And then what happened, because this is how people work these days, she went out and looked at reviews and what other people were saying about his work. And she was impressed with what other clients were saying about the experience they'd had with him. And ultimately, she ended up hiring him for a $150,000 project to build a new cottage by their pond. So that just, again, points out how the ecosystem of the web works these days. You get an authority building website that gives you a professional presence, and you highlight and showcase your work on it, and you get customers or clients to come in and say good things about you on your own website and other review sites, and it turns into business.
I think you're absolutely right. And those are two really good examples. And it also proves that how fast something can happen in the online world, because like you said, you posted the information and it just happened that somebody was looking for exactly that thing. I mean, at any one time, you're probably only going to have 3% of people looking for what you have, but it just happened that you were in the right place at the right time. And I think social media and having an online presence puts you in front of the right audience because of the fact that you can target the very words and the people who are your audience.
Right.
So that's really important. Those are really good examples. Let's talk a little bit about more business in general and basic marketing, because I know that you talk a lot out in public, and you do presentations and everything. So when you meet business people, what do you think their biggest misconceptions are about what you do for them or what you're able to do for them with your marketing company?
Well, I think a lot of business owners think that, they realize they need a website, but they just think they can put up a website themselves and business will automatically start flowing to them. And then they're puzzled when it doesn't. And they don't understand all the different moving pieces beyond having the face of the website up there that go into marketing your business online. And they also often just don't understand basic marketing principles. Like, they'll get very hung up on having a trendy looking website, but they'll make it really hard to find their phone number. For some reason, they don't want it visible. They think it's trendy to have it hidden in small print at the bottom of the page. And they also often don't want to put up some kind of a lead capture mechanism or an offer to get people to give their email address so they can follow up with them. They tend to talk about themselves too much, and they don't think about in terms of what problem am I solving for my ideal client, and how can I communicate that in a powerful and engaging way. So it's not all about me, but it's about who they serve and the problems that they solve.
I think that's a really good point. You mentioned that a lot of times people have the misconception, the build it and they will come, I think is a good way to describe that. They think if they build a website, people will come. But pointing out the fact that sometimes people, they basically create websites that are just fancy brochures, online brochures. And you mentioned a couple factors about a good website. Can you give me like 3 tips about what a good, well-designed website should include?
Well, I think they've said that you need to capture the visitor's interest within the first 3 to 5 seconds. So, on the homepage of the website, it should be really clear, what do you do and who do you serve and how can you help them? So there needs to be a compelling visuals and compelling message on the website. And then there should be an invitation very clearly to call you or to email you. And often if you offer something educational or some kind of a benefit to people there on the front page of the website that speaks to them, that they will give you your email address, so you can then set up an autoresponder that will send them the information they've requested, and that's the beginning of cultivating a relationship that may lead to sales in the future. About most people who come to your website, in most cases, are not ready to buy that minute. They might be researching their options. So there needs to be kind of a lead capture and lead nurturing system in place on your website.
So they can come to visit your website, and then if they sign up, then you would have some type of a educational program via email or something so that they could get to know those people a little bit better. So, what about the reviews? Do you get very much resistance from people about asking for testimonials and reviews?
Yeah, it's an ongoing process. A lot of people are very shy about going to their clients and asking them to review them. They kind of feel like they shouldn't be tooting their own horn, that it seems kind of arrogant to ask people. And they're also concerned about imposing on their customers or feeling like they're asking for too big a favor. But what I found is that in most cases, if your client's happy with the work that you've done, they're more than happy to send you a testimonial and a good review. The difficulty can come in when it comes to asking people to review you on Google or some of these other sites, because typically you have to register with that site. Like with Google, I think you have to have a Gmail address and log into Google before you can leave a review. So there's a little bit of a barrier there. But if you have a client that has a Gmail address, that shouldn't be hard to just direct them to your Google business page. You can even give them a direct link to it and say, would you just take a minute and tell people or share what you liked about working with me and the quality of the work we did. And that also helps your search results. When people are researching your company and they see lots of 5-star reviews and your competitors have few or no reviews, then it does help you stand out. It gives you more authority and more credibility.
I think you're absolutely right, because more and more people, and again, you said it, word of mouth is how most people perceive that they get most of their business. But as we move more online, we do get more and more business from the virtual world, because people do take time to research a purchase online before they ever buy it, and they may go check out all kinds of things about you because it's so easy. It's literally, type something into a search bar, push a button, and you can find out all kinds of things about someone. I want to talk a little bit about expectations when you work with a marketer or a marketing company, such as you. What do you feel are some of the things that people don't realize is involved when working with a marketing company in terms of expectations?
They need to be prepared. First of all, they need to have a budget. And it's amazing how many times you'll talk to a company and you ask them what their budget is, and they haven't given it any thought, and they're a little bit shy about sharing what they're willing to spend. It becomes a little bit of a dance, because they probably are afraid to say, well, they're probably afraid to reveal how much they're willing to spend in case they feel like they're getting ripped off. But on my end, what I'm able to do for you varies depending on, how much time and how much money you're able to invest. And if you have a tiny budget, the marketing strategy can be very different from whether you have a budget that allows for you to also do paid advertising on Google or paid advertising on Facebook. Whether you have a budget that would enable me to take the burden off of the client in terms of creating regular content and getting blog articles posted and optimized, or getting videos done for them. So, the expectation is that you can't you can't expect to get stellar results with a $500 budget. And it's important to, be upfront and be willing to discuss what you're able and willing to invest and be willing to put time and effort on your own end, working with the marketing person to provide the information they need to do a good job for you.
How much time do you think realistically it takes to do what I guess you would call an intake with a new client, or even the preliminary?
In the case of the kitchen designer and the home builder I mentioned, I probably spent about 10 hours up front just interviewing them, getting a feel for their business. And this was not all in one sitting, but over several conversations, getting an understanding of their business, getting an understanding of their ideal client, getting an understanding of what their unique value proposition was and what differentiates them from their competition, trying to coach them through, in many cases, it's hard for them to articulate what differentiates them and why a customer should choose them over another provider.
Mm-hmm.
So I help them clarify that. I help wordsmith it. I help create content that explains that clearly. Most business owners aren't good writers. They don't like to write. They like doing what they're doing in their own job. And so they need help honing their message and crafting a message that is powerful and engaging. So that intake process can take, on average around 10 hours. And then, you need to expect that the marketing person might be putting anywhere from 50 to an extra 100 hours in creating the website, creating the other social media platforms, and populating them with content. If we're doing videos for you, then, there's time involved in going to your place of business and videotaping you and editing the videos and getting the videos uploaded and getting the videos disseminated around the internet. So you can't just, a marketing person is not a mind reader. They can't get inside your mind and understand you. You have to be willing to spend time and thought on your end as the client, providing information so the marketing expert can help you.
I think that's really good advice, and I hope business owners are listening, because you're echoing what often happens to me. I say, well, do you have a budget? And immediately the answer is either no, I haven't thought about that, or they feel uncomfortable because of, they're afraid that you're going to take whatever that number is and then, make sure that it all gets spent. But really what it's all about is having a budget to know whether or not, do we have to go for all of the free strategies, or do we have money, like you said, to do paid advertising, such as, for example, a Facebook campaign? I want to talk about Facebook because it is something that I think we all should be looking at, because there's more than, 1 billion people using Facebook. And obviously we're not trying to get 1 billion people to become our client. We're just wanting to get the perfect client. So let's talk about that. Why do you think people should be advertising on Facebook?
Well, I read recently that there's 7.2 billion people on our planet right now. And out of that, 3 billion of them are connected to the internet. And of that 3 billion, there's 1.3 billion people who are active Facebook users. That's active users, not just people who've put up a profile and aren't using Facebook at all. And Facebook has acquired a tremendous wealth of demographic data on its active users. So what's interesting now is that you can target almost any demographic you want inside of Facebook and get your message in front of those active users in a very cost-effective way. For as little as $5 a day in direct ad costs on Facebook, you can be reaching a couple thousand people a day in your local area who have a specific interest in what you're doing. So the trick about the advertising in Facebook is that they recently introduced something called lead ads, and that's something where you can add. You've probably seen these ads that show up in your news feed, correct, on Facebook?
Yes.
And if it says sponsored, then it's a paid Facebook ad. And these paid Facebook ads come with calls to action. One call to action might be call now. It might be download a report. It might be watch a video. It might be learn more. And so what you can do with the learn more call to action especially is if people click that, you can send them over to your website with a video they might watch or a report you might offer them. But before they can get that video or the report, you've seen how this works, that you're asked to provide your name, email address, possibly your phone number to get access to that. And what Facebook lets you do now is integrate these lead capture forms like your Aweber form or an Infusionsoft form so that you can now get leads through Facebook and put them into your autoresponder so that it's a time-saving move where you don't have to sit there and call the person back immediately. They fill out the form. You get the name, email address, possibly phone number, and they are immediately provided with the video or the report or the coupon you've offered in your Facebook ad.
Wow. That is really phenomenal how much you can do with Facebook, and there is a great value. I mean, $5 a day. And if you get, one client, that would be a really good value. So how is advertising on Facebook different from advertising on Google?
Well, what you need to think about when you're in Google, it's a search-based platform. So with Google AdWords, what you're doing is researching keywords that are searched. Google has something called the keyword tool that you can go and you can see what keywords or phrases people are searching for in Google, and it will tell you, how much traffic there is for various keywords and phrases, and then it will tell you about what you should expect to pay to get a click on your ad in Google. So Google's very search-driven, and people who are searching in Google are much further along in the buying cycle. They're probably looking for something soon. They're interested in finding an emergency plumber or a locksmith or, I don't know, a local restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
With Facebook, what you're doing is it's better for piquing people's interest in a social way so that let's say you're at a cocktail party and you're just introducing yourself to someone. Well, you don't say in the next sentence, hey, I'm a home builder and come and, let's set up an appointment so you can see how I can remodel your home. Or if you're a chiropractor, you don't say, well, let's make an appointment for my chiropractic services, right?
Right.
You get to know people. You have a conversation. And you get to see what your common interests are. And then you might follow up with them later on with some information. But you don't try to sell yourself right away in a social setting. So with Facebook, the ads are social ads. They're targeted to people who have an interest in what you're doing, but they're not, designed to sell someone immediately. They're there to pique their interest, to get them to click through, to watch a video, or to get a coupon for your restaurant, or to learn more about whatever it is that you're doing and get a report, maybe get a tip sheet. And once they do that and get into your sales funnel, so to speak, then you can follow up with them with automated messages. It's all permission-based because they've asked for the information. So you're not a pest. You're not spamming them.
So if somebody wants to start advertising on Facebook, how do they do that?
Well, first of all, you have to have a business page. You can't advertise just from your own personal profile page. You do have to have a Facebook page set up for your business. And then you need to go to business.facebook.com and set up a business account there. And they will ask you for your credit card information, because when you advertise on Facebook, they will bill your credit card. And you can set a threshold at which your credit card will be billed. So you will, for example, you might say, bill me after my ad costs accrue to $50 or $100. So you're not billed immediately until you meet that threshold that you've set. And then once you have your business manager or your business manager page set up, you will notice when you go to your business Facebook page that it will say up at the top, manage page with business manager. So when you want to post that page in the future, you do have to switch over to the business manager account to post as your business. And then from there are two ways of creating ads inside Facebook. One is through what's called the Adverts Manager, which is a simplified interface. But if you want to get dive deep and create more targeted ads and take advantage of lead ads, for example, you need to use something called the Power Editor to create the ads. And that gets into more detail than I can go into in our interview today, but I'm certainly able to talk with your listeners, provide them more details if they like.
Okay, great. So tell me a little bit more about the different types of ads. I've seen on my business page, it says boost this post, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
What is a boosted post?
Well, it's the most basic kind of advertising you can do on Facebook. And let's say, you've written a blog and you post the link to that blog on your Facebook page, then you're given the option to boost it. Well, the first thing is you probably want to create an eye-catching graphic of some sort to call people's attention. You just don't want to just post the text link to your blog. And that graphic, Facebook has rules so that the image you post can only have a minimal amount of text. So if you have more than 20% of text on the image, they won't let you boost the post. So that's the first thing you need to do. And then when you click Boost Post, you will be taken to a page where you'll have the option of saying, I want all my friends or all my Facebook fans to see this post or this ad, or I want all my Facebook fans and their friends to see the ad, or I want everyone within 5 miles of the town I live in to see this ad. And just to backtrack a little bit, what I forgot to mention is a lot of business owners might assume that if they have 500 or 1,000 people who've liked their page, that all of them are going to see what they post. But Facebook, being a business, needs to earn some money too. And so these days, if you just post a link to your blog on your Facebook business page, only about 1% to 2% of your actual fans are going to see that information. So boosting the post is a way to make sure that all your fans are served up that information in their Facebook news feed. And you can specify if you want that to be boosted over 1 day or 2 days or 5 days or 7 days. But it's a very economical way and a non-technical way to get more visibility for your business and make sure that everyone who's liked your Facebook page sees what you're publishing and that you stay top of mind.
Wow. So, do you have any other really good ideas related to Facebook? For example, I know that obviously businesses can boost posts, and connect them. With your boosted post, can you connect that to a coupon or anything?
Well, you can put a link to your website.
Okay.
So, for example, I have a dog grooming client where I will design a coupon, upload it to her website, and then we'll boost a post about the current dog grooming special. And when they click through, they'll end up on her website where they can then download the coupon from there.
Oh, okay. So the boosted posts are it's an inexpensive way to test a concept or an ad, and you can actually take them to your website where, of course, there's all kinds of things that can happen with Facebook, such as retargeting and remarketing and other things like that. Do you have, you also offer different campaigns? Would you like to talk about the birthday campaign that you've talked about previously with me?
Yeah, this is pretty intriguing, and it's really good for businesses like restaurants or day spas, any kind of business that provides personal services, florists, for example. But one of the intriguing target audiences you can target in Facebook is people with birthdays coming up within the next 7 days and within your geographic area. So a great idea for restaurants would be to say, advertise to that demographic, people within 5 miles of your city who have a birthday coming up within the next 7 days, and say, enjoy a birthday meal for free come to our restaurant and have a free birthday meal and download the coupon here. So when they click the download button, the next thing that will happen is they'll be taken to a page where they'll enter their name, their email address, their birth date as a prerequisite to getting the coupon. And then the third step would be once they do that, the system can be set up so that the restaurant gets an immediate notification that they have a lead, they have someone who's planning to come in on a particular day to celebrate their birthday. So they can track and they can really see that this is working. I know people who are doing this that are generating, 50 or 60 leads a month in birthday redemptions through doing the birthday advertising on Facebook. You can advertise in the wedding industry. If you're a florist or a wedding planner or a wedding venue, you can target people who have been engaged in the last 3 to 6 months and give them an offer to come in and maybe a discount on flowers, maybe a discount on wedding planning services, or on a DJ or a wedding photographer. But the key to all of this is, in order for them to get the offer through Facebook, you want to take them to an intermediate page where you collect the name, email address, and phone number at a minimum, and then enter them into your follow-up system, your email autoresponder, or you can have them entered into a text messaging system if that's a better choice for you, and then you have their permission to follow up with them. I know someone who's really killing it on Facebook marketing for chiropractors. He advertises dinner with a doc, and he advertises special events on Facebook targeted to people who maybe they're suffering from migraines or backaches, any kind of a common condition that a chiropractor can treat. And the offer is to come have dinner with the chiropractor for free and learn how chiropractic can remedy your health issue. And, he's getting 10, 20 leads a month for chiropractors. And if you know how much chiropractors charge long term, that can represent $20,000 or $30,000 a month in, long term, the long term value of a client for a chiropractor. If they're getting 20 new leads a month, and half of those are becoming long-term clients. So the return on the investment can be huge. but you do need to think through, what is your offer? Who is my best target audience? What is the solution I'm offering them? And craft an offer and a compelling image that will get people to want to learn more.
Wow. I'd say that everybody should definitely, if you were not taking notes, everybody should make sure that they go back and re-listen to this entire interview at least a couple times, because YVONNE, I think you have given some really dynamite examples of how to market businesses online, how to create great websites and a great online presence, and then how to start using Facebook for advertising with a small budget. And then, of course, as your business grows, you can increase your budget. And you've given some really concrete ideas. I really appreciate that. Where can people find out more about you and your services?
Well, my website is herbstmarketing.com. That's spelled HER, B like boy, S like Sam, T like Tom, marketing, all one word, herbstmarketing.com. And if you go there, I do have a form there where you can request a special marketing blueprint I have available that outlines 5 simple steps you can take to grow your business dramatically. All you have to do is enter your email address, and you will get that report sent to you immediately.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. So everybody, make sure you go to YVONNE's website and get the 5 simple steps to marketing your business and increasing it dramatically. I like that. So thank you so much, YVONNE, for sharing today.
Thank you, Tammy. It's been a delight to talk with you, and I appreciate the opportunity.
This is Tammy Patzer. Go make it a great day.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.